hello. Now we are here to talk about, or I guess I'm here to talk about part 3, narration. So, the story of I have my phone up again just to remind myself what I'm talking about, because sometimes I get off track. So, tell the story of my challenges and triumphs as a learner this semester. Well, obvious challenge is that as I talked about earlier in part 1, my first video, I sometimes struggle with just having self-control and being able to manage my actions and what I'm doing with my time. I'm not sure why. I would assume that, as I also talked about earlier, that some of the perfectionist tendencies that I noticed in myself play into that, in which sometimes I feel like I can't do something well enough, or I don't have all the materials to do it well enough, or I just won't do perfectly on this thing, so I might as well just not do it. I realize that is very incorrect. You should always just try and put your best effort forward. So that's simply been a challenge to just make myself get over the idea and fear of not doing something perfectly and just trying anyway. It's definitely something that I want to continue to work on. And that kind of ties into the other challenges that I kind of mentioned, which are basically just haven't managed my time well enough, and therefore I was procrastinating and I was turning things in late. And sometimes studying especially is hard to get myself to do, because it's not like I have a deadline on the computer or in my notes that is staring me in the face saying you have to do this before this time. It's just just study. And in class it really helped when we were going over making study guides and differentiating between heavy day and light day topics for studying. That definitely helped. I've realized writing it down on paper helps me hold myself accountable, I guess, and just focus and do what I need to do. So I really say those are the main challenges that just happened over and over again, is procrastinating and not managing my time well, and a lack of self-control and will to put forth effort sometimes. Which are all pretty bad, but sound pretty bad when I say those. I guess one other challenge that I faced this semester is and I know other students face this too, but just challenges in home life, when your family isn't getting along, or they're dealing with financial issues, or your sister calls you on the phone crying because some boy broke up with her, then you have to spend an hour, and you want to spend an hour talking to her and making her feel better. Or other personal challenges. Yes, I definitely face that. I love my family, but sometimes they're a bit messy. They got a lot going on, and call me for advice sometimes. And I'm very happy to help, but sometimes it's I have work to do. I guess another personal challenge that I faced was just, it was balancing my workload and mental capacity to sit down and focus and do all that work while dealing with my family stuff or financial stuff that was stressing me out, or even stuff with my boyfriend too. That sounds very menial to say, a boyfriend, that doesn't matter, calm down, but we've been committed to each other for 3.5 years now, so he's definitely a big part of my life. And sometimes we don't get in arguments very often, but if we do, that'll definitely mess up my night, and then I won't feel like I want to do work because I'm sad or something. So I don't know, gotta work on balancing personal life with academic life, because as much as it's good to be aware of your personal life and your mental health, academics matter a lot. Gotta like rank it in a way, I guess. Triumphs. Okay, so triumphs as a learner this semester. I mean, it definitely felt like a triumph every time I was able to, I don't know, that I was able to make myself do a project and then turn it in, and especially like if I got a good grade on it, like that felt great and was, I guess, defiant of that little voice in my head that's all like, you can't do it good enough, so don't do it. I was like, no, look at this, I can do it, and I can do it well. So that was definitely like a triumph, I guess. I mean, I felt triumphant also after I knew that I put a lot of effort into any like project or essay that I worked on, and that like I knew it turned out well because I really tried and I spent time on it, and I managed my time for that project and did a great job and turned it in on time. That felt wonderful. Would definitely consider that a triumph. I felt like felt triumphant when I did take the time. I did make myself study, and it helped, and I did better on a test than I thought I would because I studied and I did it and I tried. It was mostly it. Of course, any good grades I got felt like triumphs. I guess it also felt like a triumph when I was able to balance my schoolwork and like working out or hanging with friends. Like, of course, all of these things, basically, you know, they go like this. They're changing and everything. So this kind of goes back into, like, kind of relates to what I was talking about in the first video in part 1. But, for what I want people to know about my experience that my grades don't reflect and all, I just, like, I'm trying, but I need to try harder, but sometimes I don't know how to make myself try harder, and, you know, I really, really want to be successful, and I really want to feel good about my grades, and about how much effort I put into them, and about the activities I do. And I get so frustrated with myself when I'm not able to. I just like don't make myself do it, and then, you know, my grades suffer, and then I suffer because of that, because I have zeros for not turning things in, or for turning them in late, or not spending enough time on them. I hate that feeling. And I'm really aware that I'm like on this path and trying to improve myself as a learner and as a student. Yeah, like I know I'm very lucky to be here, and I need to, I guess, acknowledge that more and be more thankful for the fact that, you know, I am lucky that I am here and in school and able to, I guess, not pay for it, take on that loan. I feel like I already talked a lot about, you know, how I love learning and I'm really interested in things. But I don't know, it's just the, like, getting things done, assignments done, that is so hard sometimes. I don't know why, but on the path to changing that. Like, I know I've had some personal things that interfered with my learning, but I'm not using that as an excuse, because I know very well that there are many times where I just could have tried harder or just spent 2 hours studying instead of 2 hours, like, playing on my phone or hanging out with my friends. And I was just, maybe I need to also more constantly remind myself of, like, what is at stake and how important this all is in the grand scheme of things, and how it's not just one little assignment that doesn't matter. Like, it all goes together to give me a degree, and I need to focus on doing the best that I can, even if it's not that fun sometimes. I think that's all I have. Thanks. Come here, girl. Come here. Oh. Oh, you're so cute.